my peachy people, I hope you are all doing well and thank you for being here today. If you are new here, this will be kind of an interesting first video for you to watch. But my name is Alex and this is Life's a Peach. And welcome to the Peach Fam. This is going to be a video where you're probably going to need to grab a snack or a drink. So kick back and let's chit chat together. So, this video has been a long time coming, and before I get going ahead with anything, I just want to make it very, very clear that I cannot thank you guys enough for the support that you've given me throughout the past year. Those of you that have left me messages of support and encouragement, it honestly means the world to me. Damn! I haven't even got into the video and I'm getting emotional. So yeah, just a huge thank you. I have just needed a lot of time to get to this point, which I'm so grateful for, to explain to you guys what's been going on in my life. Oh. So for the past year, I really didn't want to get emotional. I've been putting this video off for absolute ages because of this. And you know, I was speaking to my therapist about it, and she just said, you know, maybe just, even if it's a therapeutic or cathartic exercise, just, you know, get it out the way. So that's what I'm trying to do here. And just a brief disclaimer, because there are other people involved in this, I need to be as respectful as possible. It's still also a very delicate matter, so I need to be quite cognizant of what I say. It's quite crazy because it's just been over a year now that I've been dealing with this, and even beforehand I was still kind of anticipating this was going to happen. By the way, at the end of this video I have got some questions that you guys have asked that aren't really relating to this in particular. Some of them are. But, so stick around for that. And thank you for everyone that did ask questions. So, long story short, about a year ago, my mom and my dad got it. Well, they aren't still divorced, but my mom and my dad stood up. And, you know, for those of you that don't really know me very well, or maybe don't understand a particular family dynamic, but a divorce when you're nearly 30 years old, I feel, is just as devastating as it is when you're 6 and 5 and, you know, growing up and a teenager. There's a lot of different factors that come into play because, you know, this is your whole life. You've known this family your whole life, and you've made so many neuron pathways of, you know, how you think things should be and how they're going to be and how they will be, and when all of that just gets ripped under you, it just feels like your world is essentially collapsed. And even though I fully, as an adult, understand why things happen and respect people's decisions to do what they need to do, it's still extremely hard. It doesn't make it any easier that you're older. So yeah, that is what has been happening for the past year, and it's just been really, really, really hard. So much stuff has happened, and so many changes have happened, and it still fucking sucks. Honestly, just don't even know if I'd be here today if it wasn't for my therapist and my family and my friends and you guys. So
once again, thank you. Therapy has honestly been the most unbelievable thing I've ever done in my entire life. It has been the best investment, and I started going to therapy even before this happened, because I had a feeling it was going to happen. I didn't really know. I just learned so much about myself and how like broken my family dynamic actually was, and how unhealthy it was, and how toxic it was, and how I was playing adult for a very, very long time. And you know, the thing with the a family dynamic that I learned is that as soon as like one person steps out of their role, the others need to. It's chaos, and everyone's trying to kind of fill it, and there's resentment for having to fill a new role. But when you finally understand that you can't be involved in a family anymore, to a certain extent, it's unbelievably like earth-shattering to not be who you have been and how you have been for your entire life. Yeah. Jeez. I spoke to my dad for the first time on the phone last week. I haven't like spoken to him at all on the phone. I haven't seen him once, and it fucking sucks, but it's honestly for the best, and it's been really, really, really sad. But yeah, my dad is just not, he's not in a good place, and I need to look after myself, and you know, I'm not gonna sit here and bash him, because obviously a marriage is between two people, but it's just really devastating having to realize that someone's not there anymore. When I mean there, I mean he's physically there, but that's not really my dad anymore. There's just so much ridiculous stuff that has happened, and like my friends will know this, and my family will know this. Like the extent of the level of like insanity that has been going on. You honestly wouldn't even believe me if I told you the stuff that had been going on. Like, just to give you like a little tip of an iceberg, like there's an exorcism involved, so that's just like showing you what's been going on. But yeah, so I've been dealing with that for the past year, and because of that, my whole existence kind of just like went up in flames, and I just started to like breathe again, because I think a couple of months before that I had been dumped. And that was really hard to deal with. So it was always this trying to take a breath thing, and as soon as I took a breath, it's like someone just dumped my head back down. My mental health took a huge knock. I kind of, you know, spoke to you guys about this, and I made a post about it eventually, because I was just really grappling with like being a content creator, being a YouTuber, and not being able to make content or like have the will to do anything actually. And it got to a stage where I just like, I was in, and I'm not trying to like over exaggerate, I was in bed for like 2 and a bit weeks. I didn't do anything. I couldn't even like brush my teeth. I couldn't even shower. I mean, I expressed this to you guys in that thing. Like, I literally had cockroaches in my house because I was not cleaning my home. I didn't want anyone to come in and clean for me. So it was just an absolute nightmare. And I I think one of the biggest ramifications and learning curves of this whole thing was I have had a very unstable relationship with food throughout my whole life, and I have disordered eating when it comes to binging. So the binging was the only way I actually knew how to like self-regulate my emotions. It would just like numb me, and I'd watch like series and movies non-stop, and that's like all I would do just to like not feel anything. And you know, eventually you don't really care about like your body or like what you look like or how you feel when you're numb. But like when you start to come out of this dissociative stage, you just like, it's really scary, because I had looked at myself in the mirror and I had put on so much weight that I couldn't even like see my like lower belly anymore. And I was looking one day, and then I saw that I had like a ton of stretch marks on my stomach. And this will maybe sound a bit strange for those of you that like are OGs here, but like stretch marks typically don't like bug me at all. They don't do anything. Like I've had them forever. Like I really don't even have two thoughts about them. But when I saw them on my stomach, I've like never had stretch marks on my stomach, and I was absolutely devastated. And I couldn't understand why I cared so much about it, because I didn't care about the ones that are on my bum, my hips. And I went to therapy and I told her this, and she was like, Alex, it's not about the stretch marks, it's about the fact that you've like fully dissociated from your body and your whole life for nearly a year. And yeah, it was just so scary to realize that like I had not been here, like physically I've been here, but I'm only starting to come back into myself now. And it might not make sense for a lot of people, and like you might be like, okay, your parents got a divorce, it's not like a big deal. But my family dynamic and relationship has been very close-knit since I was a kid. My parents worked from home majority of their life. Then I went to Australia for like 6 months, and my dad asked me to come back and work for him. And then I worked in our family business from 18 years old till 2020. So that just kind of like explains to you how attached I've been to my parents. Not like in a good way. My upbringing has been extremely abusive. You know, both physically, mentally, emotionally. So I've lived with that, and I've been around that for absolute ages. And to try and not be that or be a part of that anymore, even though it's bad for you, it is like so fucking difficult. That's why it has like had such a huge change on my life. And yeah, that's basically why I kind of lost touch. And it just sucks because it took so much of my life away. Socially, like I haven't even been on a date in like nearly 2 years. My work has like hugely taken a dip, which therefore equals finances taking a huge dip. Like it's just so fucking annoying that this had to happen. And like I'm not trying to play the victim or whatever, but like it really fucking sucks when you have to be the one to like break the generational trauma and fucking shackles and whatever that your family has had for generations and generations. And then you just sit there and you think like, why me? Like why do I have to be the one to go through this and do this? It should have been my parents' work. They should have gone to therapy. They should have figured it out. My parents' parents should have done that. But you know, if If anyone's gonna do it, it's gonna be me. So, I've recently just started coming out of this, and it feels fucking amazing. Like, I've never set a boundary in my entire life. And that must sound ridiculous too, but it's so true. Like, I just genuinely did not know what boundaries were. And I'm just really, really grateful that I have made it here today. But I think, you know, one of the things that really has helped me in this whole thing is not only therapy, but I actually got re-diagnosed with adult ADHD. I've spoken a bit about this on my TikTok, so if you want a little bit more info on it, you are very welcome to check those out. But yeah, I was diagnosed when I was a kid, and they put me on Ritalin, and I was an absolute, like, mess. I was so depressed, I was so sad, I got bullied because I was so, like, serious all the time and sad. So we just stopped taking it, and I think from then, like, you know, I don't blame my mom at all, because she was dealing with, like, my dad and my, like, having 2 kids and having a job and whatever, but like, we stopped doing anything. And I just really wish that I had figured this out a lot earlier on in my life. And I've kind of gone through the motions, but there's a lot of mourning that comes with being diagnosed as an adult, because you're like, oh my god, I could have done so many things with my life already. And you know, that's not to say that like this is absolutely like cured everything for me, but it's literally made such a huge difference. I think I've been on my medication for maybe like 3 or 4 months now, and it's just been a lot easier to cope. I haven't binged once, which is insane. Like, it's also particularly for people that binge, and I've also been able to get up and do things. Like, not that I'm like back to where I want to be or whatever, but like, it's so much easier to get out of bed in the morning. I am able to make more habits now. I am able to focus. Like, that's like insane. Like, I can actually sit down for a couple of hours and do what I need to do without you know, getting distracted. And you know, before I took this medication, like, even my GP, he was convinced that I had depression. And so was I. Because I have been diagnosed with it before when I was like 18. And it felt the same. But one of the symptoms that show up for specifically women, adults that have ADHD, is it feels like depression. And you know, since I've been taking my medication, I've probably had like 1 or 2 sad days. But they've been days, and they haven't been weeks. And they haven't been months. So that has been like a saving grace for me, like, you have no idea. So I think I've kind of, that is what has happened in a nutshell. Very little baby nutshell. So I think let's get into the Q&A part of things. There's gonna be some things that like bleed into, you know, what I have been talking about anyway. Majority of the questions were like, how are you doing? How's your mental health? So that kind of just tells everyone that was asking. So just in general, this is like off topic, but I think I also answered this. Relationship status, I'm definitely very single. Again, how have you been? How are you? How are you doing? What's your mental health toolbox? Oh, okay, cool. I can quickly give you a few tips. I learned that when you are feeling down, you need to have like this little toolkit. It's to do with your senses. So having something that feels nice, having something that smells nice, visually, like either maybe watching a TV show that you really like, that's not like fucking true crime. By the way, if you are dealing with life, like I have been dealing with life, and shit is like bad, I know it's hard, because it's extremely hard for me, but stop watching true crime. Stop watching, like, death stuff. I promise you, I even wonder if that is what has made my life so much easier. It is so hard That's all I want to do. But it is, the reason why we watch it is because we find comfort in trauma. And we don't even realize it, but as we're watching it, like, we are raising our levels of stress and cortisol, and it's keeping us in the fight or flight stage, which is very hard to get out of. So yeah, stop watching that. Watch things that like enrich you, that make you laugh. Sometimes I even find like watching National Geographic stuff is quite cool. And also feeling nice, so maybe like taking a bath, listening to music, or if you are overstimulated, then just having peace and quiet, or even listening to like white noise or brown noise. That has been really helpful. Yeah, having a cat is like really, really great stuff. Now, I promise you, Maggie has literally saved my life. So I get it when people are talking about, what do you call them? Like pets that help you with your emotions? I don't know. Tell me in the comments down below. Oh, what's something you'd like to do for you in the next year? That's cool. I think I really want to travel. I want to go away next year for sure. I'd love to go to Greece. Some of you might not know this, but I am part Greek, and I do have family that lives in Greece as well. So I think I want to go back there. The last time I was there was when I was 8. And this is kind of like a bit of a soft launch of sorts. If you guys don't follow me on Instagram, something that I did do for myself throughout this period was I started a business. Well, it's happening on the 1st of September. So I'll leave the links down below, but basically I decided to make a dress rental company, and that has been really hard, and it's still going to probably be so much harder, but I'm just glad I finally did something that I wanted to do, that I have been having like a thought in the back of my mind. I've wanted to do a swimwear business, but I never did it, and this time I was just like, you know what, I'm going to do it. So it is called SomethingBorrowed, and basically I will be renting out a bunch of different like dresses for not only dresses, eventually other stuff as well, for special occasions. So like wedding guests, your birthdays, baby showers, just for taking cute pics. And basically I want to just have like as many sizes as possible, because we do find in South Africa that a lot of the stuff is quite small. There's nothing wrong with that, but like I want everyone to be able to experience what it's like to, you know, be in a designer dress, or like be in a dress that you can't afford the custom duties, or just, you know, have fun with fashion again. So please go and follow the page. It is only available to South Africans at the minute, but who knows? Cape Town looks good on you. Would you ever consider relocating? I actually have been wanting to move to Cape Town for absolute ages, even before I left my family business. I live in this house, and I own this house, and I've been trying to sell this house since, and we're just like, it's not happening. So I'm just trying to be patient, and now that I've started this new business, I think I'm okay with being in Joburg, but I would obviously like trade my left thumb to be there. It's so beautiful. My sister lives there, so I am able to go and visit her every now and then. But ideally, that's where I would like to end up. What is bringing you the most joy lately? You are my comfort creator. Much love from the USA. Thank you. Therapy. My cat. Being creative again. Yeah, that's about it. How did you manage to move out of that sad space? I think I kind of explained a little bit over there. You know, I don't really like to speak about this because I really respect everyone's beliefs. My faith is definitely something that I've worked on in the past couple of months, and I feel like that has definitely helped me come out of the sad space. Mixed with therapy, mixed with ADHD medication, and just the support from you guys and my friends and family. This one said, would you start in a film or a show? I think maybe they said star. I would love to. I did acting when I was a teenager. I think I got like 98% for drama in school. Makes sense, because I'm a huge drama queen. This is kind of like my own little reality TV show. Anyway, why are the YouTubers in South Africa not happy with YouTube? So I think
I can only really speak for myself, but I do have a few friends that are in the YouTube space, and you know, we've discussed our qualms here and there. But I think because majority of their audiences are South African, it's the revenue and the support from local brands as well. So basically what happens is, because a lot of you guys are actually from overseas, your country bids on my ads for my videos, if that makes sense. So the ad that you see during or for this video, it's getting like auctioned off between companies. And I think in South Africa it's more local companies and they have way less budget. So even though you're putting in so much work, like you're barely even making any AdSense revenue. And to back that up, the brands in South Africa, they don't actually see value in YouTube. They see way more value in TikTok and Instagram because it's like instant, it's quick. Not everyone is a huge fan of watching these long ass videos or has the attention span to do so. Whereas in the UK and the States and Australia, like brands really do back their creators. That's why you will barely ever see me saying that a video is sponsored. I think I've had maybe like 1 or 2 in like my 6 years of YouTube. So that just goes to show. Yeah, I think that's probably why most people are unhappy. How are my eyes? My eyes are so good, guys. There's been definitely a drastic change from last week to this week. There's way less of that blurriness. But one thing I will say, I did drive for the first time in the evening a few nights ago, and I definitely still had like crazy halos. I think that's gonna go away with time. I hope it will. That's to do with my astigmatism. But other than that, pretty good. Like, it's still very sensitive to the light, to be expected. But I was able to take a shower. This is the first day I've been able to wear makeup as well. Kind of scary, but I'm here for it. I can actually see myself in the viewfinder, which is absolutely nuts. As you grow more confident in who you are and what you offer, do you look back at any choices or decisions you made growing up with regret? So many. But I don't like the word regret. Because everything that I did and the choices that I did make literally led me to making this video right now. I will say that I think the choices that I made with dating and men were probably like my biggest regrets, because I treated myself, well, I allowed myself to be treated like absolute garbage. And I think also probably family related stuff, like not learning to put boundaries up sooner, and also potentially not like traveling enough. Did you grow up in South Africa, and what was it like? How is it living there currently? Do you have siblings? Okay, there's quite a few here. So I did grow up in South Africa, yes. What is it like? It's literally, bar a few things like the crime, the distribution of wealth, racism, our government, corruption, potholes, those kinds of things. Besides from that, South Africa is one of the most beautiful places you will ever see in your life. There's also something about the people. We really are friendly, and we are a huge melting pot of different beliefs, cultures, races, everything mixed in one. And I think it's very, very beautiful. Even though our country is literally bottom barrel at the minute, we have this sense of community that I don't think a lot of countries have. I mean, what we think is normal is very unnormal to you guys. Safety wise, we have always grown up with house alarms. We've always had burglar bars. We have always had car guards. I have been very, very, very blessed in the sense that I have not been robbed or carjacked or hijacked or hit and run or anything. And I thank God for that, because a lot of people have been. It is not safe by any means, but I think what you guys might see on the media, I wouldn't live here if it was that bad. You know what I mean? Do I have siblings? Yes, I do. I have one beautiful older sister. Her name is Bianca. Fur babies, adoption story. I actually spoke about that in
a video, which I'll link up here for you. I can't remember which one it was. Someone actually asked me about Maggie's story. Leaving home for the first time. There's quite a few here. Leaving home for the first time when I moved to Australia, it was an absolute culture shock. I was really glad that I did it for myself because it was one of those big moves that, you know, moving out of your hometown. I had the time of my life. Sometimes I wish I would have stayed there. I loved Australia because I was able to like be self-sufficient for 6 months. How would you rate South Africa's influencer market at the moment? Do you believe that brands are biased and have preference to work with only specific people? Most definitely. If so, how, you know, it's kind of, sorry guys, I screenshotted this and it says read more, so I'm gonna have to quickly go onto my YouTube app and see what the question was. But I'm guessing they are asking how do you personally navigate this. Kind of been out the game for a while, but I definitely think that there is a lot of bias that happens, and I don't think that people get a lot of opportunity. And I feel like, you know, there are creators out there that are absolutely incredible at what they do, and they don't get like enough recognition for it. And I feel like a lot of the time brands will onboard people that, sure, they have like a big audience, but like, do they actually have a sellable point of view, or are they authentic in what they're selling, and do they actually use the product? I kind of felt it in the beginning, and I think that's to do with like, just whenever you start out, you're always comparing yourself to the top person, and then when you finally start to realize that you have something different to offer than everyone else, and you kind of stop comparing yourself. And I used to like feel very hard done by when I wouldn't get picked for a campaign, but then I started to teach myself that I can't be picked all the time. I can't be a pick-me girly. Like, everyone needs to get a chance, and I think what's meant for you is meant for you. I have a lot more to say on like brand related stuff and being a content creator in general, so maybe I could do a separate video on that for you guys. Just some tips and tricks on what I've learned. Yeah, I think maybe I'll do that. If you guys want to see that, please give me a thumbs up in the comment and say go for it. Do you have some near future goals? Yes, I do. I would love to be able to run a 5K without walking. I would love to make a profit for my new company. I would love to sell my home. I would love to meet a partner. That would be really cool. And travel, I've said that already. Favorite movies and shows? At the moment, I think if I'm going to recommend any, it's going to be The Bear, The Silo, or Silo, no, it's called The Silo. What else? Oh, Beef, that was really, really good. I'm rewatching Shameless at the moment, which is a little bit dark, and I just said to you guys, don't watch dark things, but it's not murder. So that's a plus. I love watching The Block, the Australian one. It's like a home renovation show. Movies wise, I actually watched the new Spider-Man last night and I really enjoyed that. Geez, I can't remember. I have watched so many movies. Oh yes, and I watched the Barbie movie, which I absolutely loved. I definitely have to watch it again to fully observe it. I haven't watched Oppenheimer yet though. I really need to watch that. I hope I don't run out of time and battery. As a foreigner, what places would you recommend to visit in SA? Cape Town, definitely. Any tips while traveling there? Safety wise, I think you need to just be streetwise. Like, you wouldn't go down a dark alley in your hometown, I don't think, unless you're probably living in like Finland or something. Just being generally streetwise, not wearing jewelry, or a very expensive jewelry or flashy things. Designer bags, that kind of thing. Check your car once you've locked it. There are quite a few scammers, but I think that's also within most countries. So just be kind of on the ball with that kind of stuff. Probably following like local travel content creators, finding out where they're going and taking, you know, tips from them, because we have like some of the most incredible places in South Africa, and not only like location wise but also food wise. Like, we have banging food here in South Africa. Previously alluded, okay, not feeling confident with your body. Do you still feel that way? If so, what help are you seeing out? I
think I've kind of answered this already. One thing that I will add to that is that I think throughout this process I have learned that it's going to take a long time for me to come out of survival mode. So focusing on the weight loss is probably going to be more detrimental than anything. So that is something that I've been trying not to do, and just trying to cover my bases. I'm trying to walk at least like 3 times a week, or move my body, not even like go to the gym, just move my body. I don't really feel great about my body at the moment because it has changed a lot and a lot of my clothes don't fit, but I'm trying to just not focus on that. It'll come. I just have to be patient. What is your favorite travel destination in South Africa? Knysna, guys. I think it is very underrated. It is a beautiful little town. They call it God's waiting room because there's actually quite a few retirees there. So if you get the chance, definitely go and check it out. I've done 2 vlogs which I'll link up here for you guys to go and see. But it's just gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Favorite film, book, music. Right now, I don't really read books. I can't pay attention. Favorite movie right now? I really like Spider-Man. And music, I'm all over the place, but right at this very moment, I've been listening to a lot of Bon Iver. Some people say Iver, I don't know. I've been listening to him since I was a kid. And as well as, what is his name? He's from Euphoria, the blonde guy. Dominic Fike, or something like that. Love that album. What are your guilty pleasures? Chocolate. Yeah, chocolate. Guys, I'm going to have to wrap this up. I think that is all the questions, and I'm so sorry if I didn't answer 1 or 2 of them. But I do not want to not end this video. And we're also about to have load shedding soonsies. Yeah, I'm glad that I finally got this out and got it off my chest. And I really do hope that if there's someone that has been going through something similar, that this was kind of like a resting spot for you. And I hope I created space for you to feel seen and that you belong, even in all of the shit that life is handing out. That was actually quite therapeutic. I am feeling kind of sleepy now, so I'm probably going to go and take a nap and then start editing this, because I want to get this to you well, today will be Sunday, but today is Saturday. Stay peachy, guys. Love and lights. Got some cool videos coming up. Please don't forget to go and subscribe to my Instagram for my new little business. Your support would be hugely appreciated. But love and light, and I'll see you soon. Thank you for being here. Bye.